Preparing to go live, everybody. 8 o'clock, Friday afternoon, 8 p.m. Just waiting for... Okay, we're all set, and I think that we're live, so I'm going to start recording. And hi, everyone. Welcome to the GoldFish Report. I'm your host, Louisa. It is Friday, March 6th, 2020, and it's a GoldFish Report number 451. It's our week 163 POTUS report. This is our week, end of week, I would say, POTUS report. We presented an earlier report earlier in the week, and we are, one second, and we are now presenting the rest of the POTUS reports because I'm trying to make this short. So there's a lot to talk about. I hope you'll all join me. What I'm going to do, because Q has always been part of my POTUS reports, and any new information with Q I share with our viewers. So what I'm going to do is screen share another video from our favorite QAnon member. And here we go.
So who really got Donald Trump elected? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Republicans. It was actually socialists and black people that got Donald Trump elected, believe it or not. Trump didn't win because he was so popular with Republicans. In fact, he was historically unpopular with Republicans. Did you know that he got less total votes than Mitt Romney? Crazy, right? Trump won for one very simple reason. And that was that Hillary Clinton was absolutely reviled by her own voters. So much so that many of them chose not to show up on election day. The reason she's so reviled by her voters isn't because she's a woman or isn't because people are racist or anything like that. The reason she was reviled by her own voters is because they saw her emails. Indisputable proof about how she not only doesn't care about her own voters, as that's unfortunately pretty common in Washington, she's actually actively targeting them in some cases. Pretty evil, right? They saw her emails in 2016 because of a precursor operation to QAnon I like to call Operation Burnback. The name was inspired by the firefighting term, where wildland firefighters out in the forest dig out a line and set a small controlled burn back toward a main fire to stop it by pre-consuming all of its fuel in advance. It was organized by yours truly and staffed by a small but elite group of anonymous IT guys and hackers. The idea was that if we could set a fire on the Democrats' far left flank, by showing black people and socialists how evil the Democrats really are, that they would be so disgusted that they wouldn't show up on election day. So we used robots and foreign click farms to flood hyper-targeted sections of social media with salacious email clips from Hillary Clinton and the DNC. And it worked like a charm. Hillary Clinton had a historically low turnout, and Trump managed to win the election. The one that the CIA worked so hard to rig against him. Luckily, the people running the CIA at the time were about as incompetent as it gets. Unfortunately for us, not all the nerds we were working with survived to tell the tale. In fact, one of them was brutally murdered, and the rest of us thought that the brazenness of his demise would have warranted a serious investigation by the local police. But they ended up being super corrupt and just looking the other way. I hear IT guys are not the only people having that problem these days, but I digress. The whole point of this video was to say that socialists and black people are the ones who actually got Donald Trump elected in 2016, not Republicans. And can't say for sure, but I'm betting that when Bernie gets brazenly cheated again in this upcoming primary, that they just might stay home again. Or join Team Q. I actually think they're gonna love Q.
So that's another video from our our Q community, and very interesting what he's talking about. It's interesting because when you do start to show the Democrats the reality of what their party it really is and who their party is, then they have to confront that truth. Now, I'm also going to screen share. Let's just see. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Shout out to Q, Atomic 419. Lucy 1. Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see. Welcome to everybody. I'm going to continue to report now because we're moving along. I wanted to show some highlights about the president's town hall meeting. So I'm going to screen share that for our viewers as well. So let's take a look at what this town hall. So this was a really nice town hall with Fox News, Martha McCallum, and Brett Hume, and it was very very informal. It was a very nice setting, and I think it went pretty well. And here are some highlights of that in case you missed it.
Oh, we'll be cutting, but we're also going to have growth like you've never had before.
As the debate ended, the forum and town hall ended, the DNC War Room Twitter account reposted.
Hold on a second. That was supposed to start from the beginning. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. I think we're going. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. I'm not screen sharing, I think, so I have to get back onto screen share here. Sorry about that, everybody. Some technical difficulties. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Arden. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, eDub and Atomic 49. Always nice to see you. Let me move along and screen share some highlights of this town hall meeting with President Trump. Sorry, that's not the screen either. Well, we're just having a lot of technical difficulties tonight, aren't we? Good grief. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It was a crazy day for me. Okay, here we go. We'll try it again.
At the Fox News town hall last night, touting his administration's accomplishments and slamming Democrats to supporters in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
I have to tell you, I appreciate the question. I think the country is far more united than people think. And ultimately, what's uniting the country is success. We have many health care plans now where it's 60%, even 65% less expensive than Obamacare. The country, when I took it over, was in very bad shape. I really believe we're going to win this next election. And when we do, the other side's going to say, OK, that's it. Let's get along.
Leland Vittert is live in Washington with more on this story. Hi, Leland.
Good morning, Laura. The president certainly wanted to talk about his accomplishments, but one thing he hasn't done much about is the national debt. As Brett pointed out last night to the president, it's exploded under his presidency to more than $23 trillion, despite the president's campaign promises to pay it off in 8 years. Now President Trump faces more questions.
If you don't cut something in entitlements, you'll never really deal with the debt.
We'll be cutting, but we're also going to have growth like you've never had before.
As the debate ended, the forum and town hall ended, the DNC War Room Twitter account reposted part of the clip we just showed you. And then Joe Biden retweeted the clip saying, here's the deal, folks. Social Security is on the ballot this year, and the choice couldn't be clearer. All protect and expand it. Donald Trump will cut it and take it away. President Trump traveled to Scranton, Pennsylvania for the town hall. That's not a coincidence. It's Joe Biden's hometown and home to a lot of the lifelong Democrats who flipped and voted for President Trump in 2016. The president says they should be happy with him.
This area of Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania itself has the best numbers it's ever had. It's got the best economy it's ever had, has the best unemployment numbers it's ever had. And Scranton has the lowest and best unemployment numbers.
Okay,
the most
so
recent statewide poll.
I just wanted to wait a second. Go back. Oh, it can't be. It's not possible the president and Biden be tied. Come on. That's so ridiculous. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Just playing some highlights from the town hall earlier this week with President Trump. The president is very aggressive. You know, it's really the strategy of the game that he enjoys the most. Because, you know, when you're a multi-billionaire and you've done it all already and you've raised your family and you've built corporations, well, what else is there to do than just become president? But, you know, it's not just any billionaire, because obviously Mike Bloomberg didn't make the bill. But you know, this is a man who's accomplished. He's proven accomplished. He has the social ability. He has the certainly has the political acumen and also the business acumen in order to make these deals and to do what's best for the country. Let's listen to some more clips from the town hall meeting this week on other topics. This is from our Twitter account here.
I mean, he's going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and much more than that.
So you want to face Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders? That's my question.
I'll tell you, I was all set for Bernie because I thought it was going to happen. You know, we get ready for things, right? So mentally, I'm all set for Bernie. Communist, I had everything down. He's a communist. I was all set. And then we have this crazy thing that happened, right, on Tuesday, which he thought was Thursday. But he also said 150 million people were killed with guns, and he was running for the United States Senate. Support me, I'm running for the United States. There's something going on there. But I was all set. And, you know, I mean, he's going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's very true. Something's definitely going on with Bernie Sanders. We just, you know, you just can't make this stuff up. So let me just move to another clip because I want to move along to some more quotes from the president from this rally.
When these trade deals kick in, and when all, you know, the economy is the best economy we've ever had. It's nothing compared to what it's going to be when the trade deals kick in.
But if you don't cut something in entitlements, you'll never really deal with the debt.
We'll be cutting, but we're also going to have growth like you've never had.
Okay, so let's listen to that. So that's basically, these are some highlights from the town hall. I also want to screen share a video of the president. Let me just check in and make sure that we're all connected. Three Cats. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm going to also screen share this video here regarding the coronavirus. That's not the right screen that I want. Hold on a second. I don't think that it is. There it is. Okay. So let me just go back and grab that. Here we go.
I was very reassured to hear the airlines talk about their cleaning procedures and their 3 levels of cleaning procedures, because I think that will be reassuring to the American public.
And I haven't touched my face in weeks. In weeks.
Mr. President,
I miss it.
Would you do anything to address some of the...
if you're a passenger, you get on that plane.
Funny.
We've been told wash your hands.
Maybe Dr. Burks. Dr. Burks.
So this is what's going on with the coronavirus situation. Has been you've probably all heard that there have been guidelines put out regarding, the reducing the transmission of the coronavirus. The schools are doing it, the principals and the schools are doing it. So here President Trump was addressing an issue regarding the airlines and their recommendations. There's 3 levels of cleaning procedures that the airlines themselves go through. So that's good to know. It's reassuring for people to know, for travelers. So I wanted to point that out. Also, there's more news, so let's get right into it. I'm going to screen share the blog as I usually do, and I'm going to go over so this starts out with Thursday, okay? So Wednesday, we did a midweek POTUS report so that we wouldn't have such a heavy load on Friday, because Friday we usually do get slammed. I'm going to try to do them more on Tuesday nights, Wednesday maybe, to do a midweek if it's possible for me in my schedule, okay? So here we have the president is intent to appoint individuals to key administration posts. Here we have Denise Saul of New York to be member of Board of Trustees at John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. We have Jennifer Fisher of Michigan to be Board of Trustees of the same. And we have Robert Eugene Simison of Idaho to be member of the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation. So that's quite nice. Here we have a message to Congress regarding continuation of the national emergency with respect to Venezuela. I'm not surprised this is being renewed, but as you know, the president must send a letter to Congress informing them of this. And of course, this will be published in the Federal Register as it's the official publication for the government. The text of a notice of the continuation of the national emergency. This is the actual notice here. This is talking about persecution of political opponents. It's talking about erosion of human rights. It's talking about the curtailment of press freedoms. Sounds like United States, doesn't it? Sounds like we're talking about the U.S. here. It's six of one, half dozen of the other, right? I mean, we're all dealing with these issues, right? So persecution of political opponents, well, that happened to Winston Shrout and many other people here in the United States. So it kind of happens here too, but whatever. Curtailment of press freedoms, use of violence on human rights violations and abuses in response to anti-government protests. Arbitrary arrest and detention of anti-government protesters, as well as exacerbating presence of significant government corruption. Folks, this is hypocrisy. Okay, so this is what the president did. Okay, I'm not going to really comment too much on it, but we do have our own problems here that are quite similar, I have to say. Perhaps not to the same degree, perhaps not to the same extreme degree that they do in Venezuela. Okay, so here we have West Wing reads. We have Kim Kardashian returns to the Oval Office to back Trump prison releases. So on Wednesday, she had returned to support the president's decision to release 3 women from prison. They were mothers. The president presented the women with signed copies of their clemency documents. Alice Marie Johnson, whose life sentence was terminated after 21 years by Trump in 2018, knew the 3 women while in prison and recommended their names to Trump. Wow. So here we have also, which I reported earlier in the week, but it's here again in this review. First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo honored recipients of the 2020 International Women of Courage Award at a State Department ceremony Wednesday. Audrey Conklin reports from Fox Business. As First Lady of the United States, I'm proud of what this country continues to do for women. Quote from the POTUS. We have at least 328 Chinese nationals trying to enter the United States illegally have been intercepted by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials since January. The apprehensions come as part of heightened awareness at our borders to prevent further spread of the coronavirus in America. Paul Bedard reported in the Washington Examiner. Yes, the president has announced he has closed the southern border as much as possible in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. So cutting red tape is tough. President Trump deserves praise for his latest effort, which should end the chokehold that the environmental movement has placed on economic growth and jobs. Ironically, the reforms proposed by Trump must now clear a unique hurdle, the additional red tape which surrounds every effort to exchange existing regulations. Ernst Istook writes from the Washington Examiner. We also have our midweek POTUS report, which is here. It's packed with other information. So if you want to find out what the president did all week, you can find our part 1. I might just do part 1, part 2, because we are breaking up the week. So we're trying to do that. So this was our midweek report. What we're doing right now is our end of the week report. So you might want to come here and check out the summary of all the other posts that are posted on the blog. So it's easier to just get a summary of it, or if it's quicker for you, you can read it. Here we have President Trump meets with airline CEOs to discuss coronavirus and travel. So as we talked about, there were let's just go from the top here. So Vice President Mike Pence sat down with airline executives at the White House this morning, part of the administration's ongoing work to address the coronavirus and protect the health and safety of Americans. Mr. President, you said from early on that we are going to have a whole of government approach, Vice President Pence said. But the truth is, as evidenced by all these great industry leaders, it's really a whole of America approach. So what they're talking about are the 3 levels of cleaning procedure that they're talking about, and also making sure that everybody, as they were saying in that video clip, doesn't touch their face. Try to avoid that. Try to use tissues, sneeze into your elbow, things like that. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water, and help cut down on the spread of this virus. I will be giving an update as to the number and so forth as we get there. And there is other news about the coronavirus that I'm going to report on too, just for our viewers. The risk of contracting the coronavirus for the average American remains low, according to the experts. The Trump administration is still taking every precaution available to keep families and communities safe. Okay, in addition to suspending travel from China early on, as of yesterday, all passengers on direct flights from Italy or South Korea to America are being screened multiple times before boarding. Everyone here should know that we're going to continue to follow the facts and the data, the vice president said. President Trump held a roundtable briefing yesterday afternoon with experts at the National Institute of Health in Maryland. I know you're working around the clock. I know you've made some great finds already, he said. Fantastic job. And here is the president he addressed the Latino coalition leaders. Under the booming economy, the Latinos are achieving record gains, President Trump said. The stats speak for themselves. The unemployment rate for Hispanic Americans hit an all-time low in 2019. The poverty rate for Hispanic Americans is now at a record low. And since the election, America has created more jobs for Hispanic Americans, 3 million, than the experts predicted would be created in total, 2 million. So photo of the day was the Marine One. President Trump aboard, prepares to land at National Harbor. And I have to say, because when I reported at the White House, that it was a really wonderful, it was an awesome type of experience to watch the beast, they call it, fly in and pick up the president and leave. It's a big, powerful and highly protected helicopter, and it's quite a sight to see. So let me just stop there and say hello and check in with our viewers. Hi everybody. Hi Mark, how are you? Yeah, weakened immune system, exactly. Weakened immune systems are definitely more compromised. I would definitely agree with that. I hope people are getting notifications of our live stream, because we're having quite a light audience in our live chat, but that's okay. I wanted to go to some tweets, some reports that I have about this coronavirus. Yeah. The president was also in Tennessee surveying damage of the tornadoes, from the tornadoes. I'll screen share that as well, so you can see President Trump was there visiting with officials and touring the damage there as well. He was meeting up with people in the facility there, and the storm damaged the victims there. Here's a worker at one of the supply centers here after the tornadoes. The president shaking hands with people, and here they're very happy to see the president, of course. So that's really good news. So at least it cheered them up a little bit. And of course, there's an emergency declaration, which we're going to get to in just a moment, that the president signed for the state of Tennessee regarding these tornadoes. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. I just want to check and see. Fort Michigan. Good. Okay. Thank you. Glad to know the audio is doing good. Hi, Michigan. Hope everybody's doing good there. Tide. I don't know what Three Cats is talking about, but whatever. Any trolls that come in here are going to be removed, just so you know. I don't play around. I do this for our viewers who are sincerely interested in knowing what the president's been doing. So it's okay. Anyway, I have another article here that I want to share with our viewers regarding the coronavirus, because 2 strains have been identified as China cases dwindle. This is a Reuters report. So the researchers from Peking University School of Life Sciences and the Institute Pasteur of Shanghai under the Chinese Academy of Sciences cautioned that their study looked only at a limited range of data, and said follow-up studies of larger data sets were needed to better understand the virus's evolution. The preliminary study found that a more aggressive strain of the new coronavirus associated with the outbreak in Wuhan accounted for about 70% of analyzed cases, while 30% were linked to a less aggressive type. So has this mutated? Is this the question? or this is the question, I should say. These findings strongly support an urgent need for further immediate comprehensive studies that combine genomic data, epidemiological data, and chart records of the clinical symptoms of patients with coronavirus. Okay, so the experts were not directly involved in the study, but said its findings were interesting, but again, cautioned against drawing conclusions like what I just said. Well, it wasn't a conclusion, it was a question. The question is, has this mutated? And that is a very good question. So we do want to be careful. And there are, I think the CDC has put out cautions warning people, just be prepared, because we don't know what kinds of interruptions this could bring about. So we also have other news here that I wanted to share. Yeah, here's the president aboard Marine One. I'm just going to screen share this as he was viewing the a little bit loud. Says the president is surveying and viewing the damage of the tornado in Tennessee. And it doesn't need to be that loud, does it? But of course, my volume's not going to be that loud either. Okay. Wow. That's pretty... Oh my God. I can't seem to shut it off. Hold on a second. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry about that, folks. That really was annoying. Yeah, so there's more there's more of the damage and devastation down there. Here's another photo of the president surveying damage. I don't have sound on this, so don't worry about it. Sorry about that. Here's the president in the middle of the damage here, surveying all of this. It's really major destruction. Of course, as I'm going to continue to report here, let's see, yeah. The president did approve a disaster declaration, which is right here for Tennessee. So that he declared a major disaster existed in the state of Tennessee and ordered federal aid and to supplement state and local recovery efforts. So that was taken care of. This has to do with Davidson, Putnam, and Wilson counties. So that's it. And of course, yesterday, as you all know, we published a new video by, I think his name is Austin Steinbert, who was revealing really who the Q team is and what their mission is specifically as a member of the Q team. So very interesting, and I think you want to come here and take a look at that. I'm going to be sharing more of Austin's videos as I did in the beginning of this one. So that's really good news, and that really does signify, it signals a change, a huge change of things, a milestone perhaps that that we've reached in terms of our fight to restore, to end corruption and restore the rule of law in the country. Here you have the president meeting with Kim Kardashian, West, and grants clemency to 3 mothers. So I will play this video here so you can see that. Very nice. So, you know, the president has been a very strong proponent for prison reform, and this just supports that even more. We also have a funding bill today, which I will get to shortly. Let's just keep moving along so we can make this nice and short and sweet. Coronavirus update: Vice President Pence in Minnesota and Washington State today. The Trump administration's whole of government response to the coronavirus continues today as Vice President Mike Pence visited a Minnesota company leading in healthcare innovation before he holds a briefing with Governor Jay Inslee of Washington. The vice president said, I'll be traveling with many members of the task force to Minnesota, and he'll be visiting 3M, which is poised to literally begin manufacturing millions more masks for our healthcare workers. In Washington State, Vice President Pence and members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force are meeting with teams on the ground to make sure they are fully supported in their response to the outbreak. Our hearts go out to those that have been infected with the disease in the Seattle area, Vice President Pence said. Also, we understand the anxiety this has created in the full community, and we're going to be going out just to make sure and sitting down with the governor with his team, and they have everything they need and all the support they need to see to the health of their people. Thanks to early and decisive action from President Trump, as well as the professionalism of federal, state, and local health officials across the United States, the risk to the average American of contracting the coronavirus is very low. And here's a photo of the day. You have First Lady Melania Trump meets with workers on the progress of the White House tennis pavilion. So that's been in the planning for a while now. So she's got her hard hat on. That's so funny. I think that's so cute. And so I'm going to also stop screen sharing for just a second and go back to the top of this because there's a printout of a very long transcript, and I wanted to. It's a very long transcript. You know what, folks? If you want to see the transcript of the town hall meeting, you should just go to the blog. It's very long. I can highlight a few areas of it. Here it is on our blog. These are remarks by President Trump at the Fox News Town Hall, Scranton, Pennsylvania, which I believe is the home of Joe Biden. I think they announced that earlier. Okay, so the audience member had asked about the coronavirus and the administration. So the question is, Mr. President, at the outset of the coronavirus, your administration's response seemed to some as being confusing or minimizing. Well, isn't that just the mainstream media? That's just their hyperbole. That's just their agenda. That's what they were claiming. But do people really believe that? Okay. What plans are being considered on a federal level for the possibility of a long-term disruption from the novel coronavirus? And the president said, well, actually, we were giving, I think, really giving tremendous marks. If you look at the Gallup poll, you look at other polls for the way we've handled it. And one of the things I did is I closed down the borders to China and to other areas that are very badly affected and really having a lot of troubles. I mean, countries and areas of countries that have had a lot of problem. And I closed them down very early against the advice of almost everybody. And we've been given rave reviews. That's why we only have right now 11. It's a lot of people. It's still 11 people versus tremendous numbers of thousands of people that have died all over the world. We have 11. We have 149 cases as of this moment. This morning it was 129, and I just see right now it's about 149 cases. There are 100,000 cases all over the world. So the other cases, the majority of cases in the United States are people who are U.S. citizens that are in these other areas who have the right to come back to the United States to be protected and to be treated. And so that's why we have, that's where this number came from. So it wasn't like an organic spreading of it here. These were like transplants from other locations, just so that we're clear about that. And also what's happening, he's talking about, let me just move ahead. Let's just see if I can find one of the things I wanted to share was that the president was let's see, there was an $8.3 spending bill, coronavirus spending bill that the president signed into law. Let me just see where I can find that bill, because that should be included in my report here. I know I posted it. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for it. National Emergency Bill announcement. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Nope, that's not it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it. And I know that I published it, and I can't see. Oh, March 6th. There we go. Okay. Sorry, we've got another date here that I have to go over. So for the 6th, let's do this real quick. So the statement from the press secretary regarding the visit of Prime Minister Leo Varadkar of Ireland, he will be coming to visit the White House on March 12th in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. And so this is just the announcement for that. You can come to the blog and take a look at it. The president, this is today's post from the White House, by the way. The president has also talked about the unemployment falls back to 3.5%. So that's good news. And here the president signs an $8.3 billion coronavirus spending bill. That just seems like a lot of money. I bet there's a lot of pork in there. I don't know. What do you think? What do you all think? Do you think there's a lot of pork in that spending bill? $8.3 billion, and we only have 149 cases. Oh my God. Okay, what's going on? Surgeon General says to be cautious but not afraid of the coronavirus. It is clear we must continue to help Americans understand how to protect themselves, but also that we mustn't recreate the wheel. Surgeon General Jerome Adams writes, "We've been through this before and no place in the world is better prepared to handle this challenge. Let's turn fear into actions that will help us all stay safe." And so that's from the Surgeon General. Okay. We already talked about Kim Kardashian, and here we have the Defense Secretary, Mark Esper, saying this is our chance to bring troops home from Afghanistan for good. Now, the president did talk about that in his town hall, and he did get, an applause and a very large applause from the audience for that. Here they're saying we achieved a promising milestone to bring the war in Afghanistan to a responsible end with the signing of an agreement between the United States and the Taliban. Defense Secretary Mark Esper writes, "Thanks to President Trump's leadership, it is the best chance we've ever had to end this conflict. They want to bring the troops home." And so let me see, this is a video clip here with the president talking about this. So let me screen share this. I just want to make sure it's going to screen share this exact clip for you all. So let's hear what the president has to say.
Believe they really want to make a deal. I think after 19, actually going very close to 20 years, they're also tired of fighting, believe it or not. But they are warriors and they are fighters, and that's what they've done for 1,000 years. Just ask the Soviet Union, which became Russia, because of Afghanistan. It's a tough place.
You have said that you want to, end this. It's gone on for a long time. But what about the conditions on the ground? Because, General Mattis had a disagreement with you about pulling troops out of Syria and Afghanistan. If your generals tell you...
I was so right.
If the generals say to you, Mr. President, we need more people, not fewer people right now, what will you do?
Well, Mattis said that, and I gave him more people for a short period of time, and it didn't work out. And what we were doing is policing on Afghanistan. As far as Syria, I did pull them out. I pulled them out. We were securing the border between Turkey and Syria. I said, why are we doing that? Turkey's big, Syria's fine. Let them fight their own battles. What are we doing with our soldiers? Getting people killed to secure. Now, the one thing, when I came in, ISIS was all over Syria, all over Iraq, and we don't want them coming to us. And it was a mess. You understand that very well. And I knocked out 100% of the territorial caliphate. 100%. We knocked the whole thing out.
That's true. So, that's the president has handled that question very well. And that the president has said he wanted to end the wars and he wanted to bring our troops home. And that's what he's doing. Let me just check in with hi, everybody. Thanks, Jeff. Hi, Jay. Nice to see you all. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Also, I wanted to just update everybody on this cruise ship that has been docked off the coast of California. They are in quarantine and they have testing kits. They have made testing kits available for people. So anybody who wants to be tested can be tested. And what do they do after that? I don't know, to be honest with you. But, it's good news that they are making this available for everybody. I kind of wanted to ask, by the way, we did mysteriously suddenly just get access to our Facebook account again after I went public well, yesterday, I think it was, or no, Wednesday, and talked about how Facebook just, out of nowhere banned us and locked us out of our account. It just gets ridiculous at a certain point, It really does. So, I wanted to just update everybody on that regarding the regarding the latest with the Q and with I'm sorry, I've got a couple pages open here with the coronavirus and what they were doing about that. So all of these stories can be found on our blog on the Goldfish Report blogspot.com. You can also find them on our Facebook news page, which is almost a 24/7 news site. And you have to type in the Goldfish Report on Facebook in order to access it. But you can also follow us on Twitter, and you can get these news stories there as well. And if you can't follow any of those, you can go to our website at thegoldfishreport.com, and we have a news feed for each of these running on the front page, and you can find the stories there. So you can always go to our website and you can find the stories. I know our website needs major revamping, and it will be revamped once we can raise some more funds for all of that. Right now we're really kind of stretching it. We're in there's a lot of competition out there. Obviously, I think we do a good job, and I think that we're very, very. First, I just want to say how grateful I am to our Patreons, to the people who do micro donating on our PayPal on our website, and also to the people who do participate in super chats. Although we haven't had a super chat in a long time, but we do appreciate them when people do donate them. So we are very, very very grateful of that, because there's no other way that we can survive. And of course, we also heard this week that Chief Justice Roberts issued a rare rebuke to Schumer's dangerous and irresponsible comments. Trump slams lawmakers, saying must pay a severe price. So this was, I'm going to screen share this very quickly because I thought this was interesting. I think people have to start being held accountable for their rhetoric, especially when it's something like this.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer outside the Supreme Court talking about an abortion case, directing those comments directly to Justices Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, prompting a response by the Chief Justice in a letter. Justices know that criticism comes with the territory, but threatening statements of this sort from the highest levels of government are not only inappropriate, they are dangerous. All members of the court will continue to do their job without fear or favor from whatever quarter. Well, Schumer's spokesperson responded, saying women's health care rights are at stake, and Americans from every corner of the country are in anguish about what the court might do to them. For Justice Roberts to follow the right wing's deliberate misinterpretation of what Senator Schumer said while remaining silent when President Trump attacked Justices Sotomayor and Ginsburg last week shows Justice Roberts does not just call balls and strikes. So let's begin there with our panel.
So that was pretty significant. I mean, there's really no stopping the Democrats. There's no stopping. They threaten the president. They threaten the Supreme Court if they go against their agenda. And this is really what Austin Steinbart's talking about when he's come out trying to expose that the CIA is behind all of this, and behind a whole Luciferian death cult, as he calls it. And who would want to support post-birth abortion? That's murder, actually. And so let's not be ridiculous about this. Let's call it what it is, and stop using political correctness as a Trojan horse to blur the lines of decency and correctness. I think we are going to completely lose our society if we lose our identity and we lose our moral compass. Honestly, folks. And I think you would agree. What about all of you in the chat? Yeah, exactly. Look, that's why the Supreme Court, Jay, good point. It's a felony to threaten the Supreme Court justices. So I think we need to see it for what it is. And, like I said, I am going to be sharing more of Austin's videos on our program because he's trying to get a message out and trying to get some more uh, awareness to his message. Um, yeah, germaphobe. Do you mean Trump is a germaphobe, Mark? Yeah, he is, and so am I. I mean, I spent, let's see, I went to school in New York City and I worked there for, I don't know, 6 to 10 years. So, it's I didn't want to hold on to subway poles. I didn't press elevator buttons, but I wasn't crazy about it. I used my elbow or I used my knuckle or, usually I would have a glove on because it was like wintertime or whatever. But, like who wants to touch that stuff? It's gross. Yeah, we need some germs, but I don't think we need all those. I don't know. See, we all have our own little peculiar, the things that we're peculiar about. We have our own little idiosyncrasies. Everybody has their pet peeves and their, things like that. Yeah, Schumer should be charged with treason. I agree. Um, that's a felony. Anybody else have any comments about that? Shari, are you still there, dear? I wonder where everybody is. Everybody's been quite busy. Last week it was the rally. So yeah, so that was a really nice and very interesting town hall. I'm wondering if anybody had any comments about it. Did you like what you saw? I'm just curious what everybody thought about it. So if you have any comments, that would be great. If you don't, that's fine too. I wanted to give some, okay. I wanted to also bring to your attention an organization, a lovely lady who I have recently connected with, who has been a viewer. She's been in the live chat, and she has joined. Her and I have connected, and I wanted to just bring this to everyone's attention. Uh, her name is Elizabeth Enyart, and she is head of this organization called Women of Valor Outreach. And I'm going to screen share this for you very quickly. This is the flyer for her program. It's a community based business that it's a nonprofit, of course, and what they do is they help families in need. And she has made a connection with a church group out in Uganda. Um, she is connected with someone who needs supplies. This is the church. These are some of the children that are in need of supplies, need of here's the photo here. This is these are some of the children at the church. What you can do is contact her. These are pictures sent to her. I'm sure you'll have many questions for her. She's trying to put supplies together, things like pencils, supplies for the kids for school. Boy, they look like they could use some new clothes and whatever education materials that she's going to highlight. So um, I'm going to see if I can find, yeah, you can go to info.arkansas@gmail.com and you can ask her if you have what their needs are, what their specific needs are for this program, and what, because she does send care packages and things of that nature. So I thought it was a really lovely way of giving back and helping people out. I also wanted to, so I wanted to thank Elizabeth for what she's doing. She's doing great work. I wanted also to, okay, Slim Frank, I just saw your email, so I'll check that out. Um, I wanted to screen share, I'm sorry, I wanted to share with you some of the some of the pooler reports, which I don't usually share, but sometimes I will. These are the press pooler reports, the press poolers who are with the president right now. They had a POTUS CDC visit. He visited the CDC. He says anybody that wants a test can get a test. Azar says 700,000 tests shipped so far this week. All the tests are perfect, like the letter was perfect in the transcript. I guess he's referring to the Ukraine phone call. On the cruise ship, the Diamond Princess, a decision has been made on what to do with the passengers. Let's see, great experts, including the vice president, they would rather have the people come off. POTUS says he wants them to stay where they are. I don't need the number to double because of one ship. On pandemic preparedness, you never really know when something like this is going to strike. We're prepared for anything. These are quotes by the president. Uncle John. So on dealing with a health crisis, president made some reference to his uncle, Dr. John Trump, and he says, I like this stuff. I really get it. Interesting. And very interesting quotes from the poolers. I just hope they're accurate, not taken out of context. But from what I was told, that they are going to test everybody on that ship, which is appropriate. They need to do that. So I wanted to give you a little bit of insight into what information the press poolers get. And that's being reported by, who's our pooler? Rob Crilly from the Washington Examiner. So that's thanks to Rob Crilly, who's reporting that. Okay, so because as you know, the press poolers are the ones who are there to document the whereabouts of the president at all times. Okay, we have new Project Veritas release. Now this is interesting. Project Veritas has just published the lawsuit, several pages of the lawsuit filed by President Trump over what's happened with, I'm just trying to find this so I can screen share it with our viewers. Yes, I'm trying to make it short. Yes, I'm trying to make it short. Where did it go? Must be further up in my news feed. Yes, it is. I just passed it. Okay, here it is. I'm going to screen share this. This is from Project Veritas because the president references the Project Veritas expose videos as some of in this lawsuit. So take a look. This is the case filed by Donald J. Trump for President Inc. The complaint, the introduction and summary of the case. Here they're talking CNN published false and defamatory statements of and concerning the campaign, claiming it assessed the potential risks and benefits of, again, seeking Russia's help in 2020, things of that nature. I can't see the entire document, but here they're talking about a supervising producer making comments. This is states in the Project Veritas footage that CNN's coverage regarding the Russia's alleged interference with 2016 election was mostly BS, and that the president is probably right to say you are witch hunting me. So they're even admitting this, and there's all these other admissions which James O'Keefe has underlined for us in this. It's not entirely surprising that CNN would publish such blatantly false statements about the campaign. There is extensive evidence that CNN and its writer, Larry Noble, are extremely biased against the campaign. This evidence includes, among other things, undercover video footage taken by the Project Veritas news organization, in which CNN staff members admit on camera that CNN's coverage is extremely biased against the campaign, the administration, and Republicans in general. This is interesting stuff, folks, but it's stuff that we already knew. If you're a follower of the GoldFish report and of the president, you already know this. So it's but seeing it in black and white means a whole other thing. Hi, Shari. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Hi, Goldfishies. Hi, Careful Carpenter. How you doing? How is everybody tonight? Good? Everyone doing well? I'm pretty much almost done with the report. I wanted to make it shorter tonight. I wanted to thank everybody for joining us. We did highlight the president's agenda. I just want to make sure that I did cover everything that we wanted to cover. No, we didn't yet. I'm going to screen share this. Is the Coronavirus Preparedness and Response Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2020, which provides additional fiscal year 2020 emergency supplemental funding for combating the spread of the coronavirus at the local, state, national, and international levels, and to prepare for the impacts that it may have on the nation. It's a $8.3 billion spending bill. Oh, that's a lot of money. Really a lot of money. Also, President Trump will meet with President Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil at Mar-a-Lago on Saturday, March 7th, and they'll discuss opportunities to build a more prosperous, secure, and democratic world. This is regarding Venezuela, as you know. Of course, the remarks, this is a very long transcript, everybody. So, but it's really, really great to be able to highlight the answers that the president gave regarding this town hall meeting. I'm sorry, I never yawn on my GoldFish reports, but I'm quite tired tonight. It's been a very, very, very long week. I don't know about all of you, but I've really felt it myself. It's quite stressful. Okay, I'm just scrolling, and I can tell you this is a really, really, very long, very, very long transcript. So if you want to know about it, just please go to the blog and check it out if you want to read it. But it's there, so you know that it's there. Also, we have I think I already presented this, the emergency declaration for Tennessee. And that's about it. So, we did do earlier in the week, we had a midweek, so we had a lot to report on. So that was a lot as well. So this isn't as much today, and I'm pretty much done unless anybody has other comments that they have. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. Veronica Olson. We're all doing, I'm really tired, actually. It's a long week. It's been a long week, and it's been stressful. But you know what? I'm here every Friday. I'm so dedicated to this. This is just what we have to do. As General Flynn said, that the American people decided to take back control of information, knowing that the mainstream media wasn't reporting the truth. And of course, this Austin Steinbart has done other videos talking about the massive control structure behind basically the shadow government is what he was talking about, what President Kennedy talked about. And if you go to our blog, we do have the quotes here, and we also have it on our Facebook page, but I will screen share just to remind everybody that JFK was trying to expose this ruthless conspiracy. He says, "For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence." Now, this is what we're talking about, the shadow government. It relies on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. What this means is that the shadow government exists in our military. It exists in our politics. It controls our politics. It controls our military. It controls our intelligence operations. It controls the economy. It controls science. That means academia. And it controls all political operations. That's what that means. That's how infiltrated our society has become by the shadow government. And Austin is doing a great job in exposing this. For whatever reason he's doing this, he was told to do it. We wish him safety for doing this. But as I have said, I can confirm that he is very his accurate. Q sent me, Robin. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Arden. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, you know what? We have to do it because our country needs us all right now, right? What did JFK say? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And that answer has to be personal for each one of us. It's different for each one of us. But you have to ask, what can you do? And, you know, that's what we're doing at the GoldFish Report. And that's what you're doing by joining me. And I do appreciate you joining me. Greetings from Turkey. Hello. Yes. Yes, we're sure of it. Yeah, just put up a new video. Yeah. Yeah. I think you need to consider his material very carefully. Very carefully. And you know, I'm glad to know that he's put up more videos. Yeah, I'm not surprised. This is what he does. So I'm going to just check that out. Yeah, very cool. Friday, everyone. Yeah. He's Friday. I wonder what he has to say. So look, I'm going to just wrap this up because I wanted to make this a short POTUS report so I can get this circulated. So I want everybody to know that we will be back on Monday with our political theater with the FETs, of course. And we will be back for another midweek POTUS report because, of course, the weekend, the president never stops working. And really, this is why I put the title Strategic Genius Driving Trump, because you have to understand that what really seems to drive President Trump is the challenge. Honestly, it's his genius of taking and succeeding on the challenge. So it's like this masterful game of stress. I'm sorry, stress. What did I say? That was a Freudian slip. Thank you, Jay. That's so sweet of you. A chess game. I don't know why I said stress. It is stressful. It's stressful. But it's a masterful game of chess, and it just looks like he is such a masterful chess player. And because he doesn't ever falter. The man works every day, and he donated his last quarterly salary to Department of Health and Human Services to help fighting coronavirus. So, you know, what drives this man? And you have to ask yourself, and the only conclusion that you can really come to is that he's so brilliant. He's really such a genius that he takes us on simply for the challenge of it, because not merely for the challenge, because he knows what's at stake. And it's everything. It's this entire country. It's the survival of this country and what it represents that is at stake here. And that's why he's taking it on. And yeah, he's a very strong man. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Tom, as far as Q followers, you know, we're all just going to have to wait and see, aren't we? We'll have to wait and see what comes out in the wash. I do believe that Austin, look, I have my independent sources, and when I put the video out, I did confirm, I did state that I confirmed with my sources that he is who he says he is. So I'm not going to say any more about it. I wouldn't publish it if I didn't have a certain confidence level. And certainly I wouldn't say that I can verify that, or I have a way of verifying that he's who he says he is. So why would I publish it if it wasn't something that I had a high confidence level was accurate? Okay, so that's my own personal reporting. It's not like I'm reposting someone else's report on Facebook or on Twitter, which I do all day long. So I know who's usually reputable, but I can't validate every story. We publish hundreds of stories a week, and I can't possibly investigate every single one of them. But I know who's more credible, and those are the ones that we repost. This is different. This is my own reporting. This is my sources telling me and validating, and my ways of validating that this person is who he says he is. And that's you know, putting my reputation at stake here. So I just wanted to, I'm not telling you need to believe me. I'm just telling you why I did it. And that's all that matters. And I also, like I said, I feel that President Trump is such a genius at strategy and at really strategy. He's got to be a brilliant chess player, absolutely brilliant. But I know he's well educated and he's well studied. He's very, very good. He went to military academy as a youngster, and he's had an incredible, access to, let's not forget about his Uncle John, right? Had the Tesla papers. He worked with him, I believe, or understood his work. There's a lot of new things, and I think, folks, after the election, there's going to be some really wonderful things. As the president said, the best is yet to come. So, folks, this is it for my POTUS report tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I am curious to see. Yes, I understand, Tom. I can't make everybody happy. It's okay. People are going to do what they want to do. I mean, it's really interesting, some of the comments. I told people to go ahead and comment in the comment section as long as it was respectful. You can respectfully disagree, but that's how it goes. I'm not really worried about what people think about it, but I hope you guys have a great, yeah. Okay, no problem, Tom. No problem. I'm just going to, yeah. Oh, let me tell you, Jay, there's a lot more from where that came from. Absolutely. Get ready, folks. Buckle up, because by this man coming out, it's signaling something, a change. It's signaling a completely new chapter that we're entering into right now. And I'm glad to see it. So, pray for everybody's safety. Stock up. We could have some coronavirus interruption in our distribution of our services, food supplies, things like that. Try to just be prepared, because that's, being prudent. And have a great weekend. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, have a great weekend. And please send your prayers to the president and to all the whole Q team for their safety, and mine as well. I could use that. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great weekend. And this concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report. Thanks for joining us.